Hey everybody, welcome back to Colorado Cars. On today's episode we have a 2013 Lexus GX460. To start off with, I want to thank Arrowhead Autosport. Steve and his team over there are the best at making car deals happen. Whether you're looking for a white Lexus GX460 or a Mercedes G63, Steve and his team can make it happen. Check them out. Their website is in the description below. This 2013 Lexus GX460 is powered by a 4.6 liter V8 putting out 301 horsepower and 329 pound-feet of torque. You can tow up to 6,500 pounds on this, so whether you're taking your jet skis or your boat or just a U-Haul trailer to move, it has you covered. Let's go ahead and take a walk around the outside, and then we'll show you the inside and do 5 things we like, 5 things we don't, and then we'll close it out. Let's get started. 2010 they released the GX460, which took over the GX470. This is the 3rd model year into it, and it comes with a bunch of refreshes. First, you've got bi-xenon headlights up front. As you can tell, the grille's a little bit bigger and more bulbous. You also got parking sensors around. If we come this way, you can see these nice chrome rims. You got blinkers in the turn signal. You got keyless access, so you can keep the key in your pocket, open, close, lock the doors without ever removing that. If you come all the way around back, you can see Lexus's iconic taillights for the 460 and 470. Now you got LED brake lights and still the halogen turn signal. They kept with the barn door, which is really cool. It's one of my favorite features if I can figure out how to unlock it from back here. There we go. This is one of my favorite openings for back doors. I think it's completely awesome. Right here you got a little button that pops the little glass, which is really cool too. So if you're just grabbing groceries, you can just throw it in there. If we keep on walking around, you see we've got the tow hitch right there, single pipe exhaust. And over here it's the same thing. Really just a good looking car. The GX470 was a little bit more rigid in its lines, but the 460 is just overall a great looking car. Now let's go ahead and look at the inside. This car has smart key access, so if you leave the key in your pocket, all you have to do is grab the handle and it'll unlock for you. This 460 is finished with a really nice brown leather interior. You can see it's really nice. Great color. Over here you got 2 seat presets, which is pretty standard. You got wood trim all over the place. All 4 windows are automatic up and down. Moving over to this area, you got your mirror controls. These are folding left, right, and then you got your brightness for your odometer and everything, and then that's your reset button. Down here you can turn traction control off. You got your gas cap button. All the way down there you got your hood latch. Pretty standard stuff. Moving up to the steering wheel, volume up, volume down, track up, track down. If you move over here, you get a little display right in the gauge cluster. I'll show you that now. Push button to start, of course. Once you start that up, you got your Bluetooth controls right here, so you can answer and hang up on your phone calls. And then right here, you got a little selector for the different screens in this area. So you got your cruising range, your miles per gallon, all that good stuff. Down here, you got where your gear selector is, so depending on what gear, and then you can move it over into manual. It is a 6-speed. You also got parking sensors, as I said earlier. Moving over into the center of the dash, you got your caution lights, and then you got your map. You can enter your destination. You got your phone info, and you got fuel consumption, all the good stuff. You got XM Sport, stocks, nav weather, Lexus Insider. You got a calendar, and then if you come over here, you can adjust the display and turn it off, which is a great feature if you're driving at night. You got all of your settings over here. You got a Mark Levinson sound system with Bluetooth audio streaming. And then all the way up top, you got all your climate controls. So you can adjust it all through here. Or what's really nice is you can adjust it down here. You got dual zone temperature control. So both sides of the vehicle are able to adjust their temperatures accordingly. You got auto, all the pretty standard stuff. If you move down here, you can see that you got a disc player, and then you also got all of your buttons. So you got AM, FM, SAT, CD, aux, USB, and then you can scan different radio stations. This car is really nicely set up. Lexus did a great job with the dash in here, I personally think. If we keep on moving lower, you can see that you got your gear selector right there. It's really nice feeling. You got heated and cooled seats on both sides. If you move lower, you can see that you have your downhill assist control right there. So if you turn that on, it will do the braking for you if you're on a steep incline. And then right here, you got high 4 and low 4 for your 4-wheel drive. If you go all the way under here next to the start stop button, you can see that we have a locking center diff as well. So this car will handle very well off-road, just like you would expect. Let's go ahead and take this GX460 for a spin. Now we're going to talk about the 5 things that we like, the 5 things that we do not like, and then we're going to tell you about how it drives. So to start off with what we like, the first thing is just the general dash layout. I've said this about pretty much every Lexus and Toyota product I've driven. They just make it super simple. If you want to go adjust your climate, you push climate. If you want to turn the radio station, you push audio. If you want to put in a destination, you push destination. They make it super user intuitive so that there's no guessing and you don't have to go through 7 different screens to get to your heated seat or put in a destination. I really like that. It's one of my favorite things. The other thing I like is just the build quality of the inside. It just feels super solid. You got soft touch pretty much everywhere. We'll talk about a little bit about that later. The next thing I like is the cooled seats. For 2013, that's a pretty cool feature, and they work really well. It's 98 degrees outside right here in Parker, Colorado, and we're sitting in here pretty comfortably with the AC on low and both of our cooled seats on. The fourth thing that I like is the gauge cluster layout. It's super simple. You got all of your necessities that you need right there. If you're taking it off-road, you can see where your front wheels are articulated to. You got your range, your average fuel consumption, pretty much everything that is standard on really any car, but I like how Lexus laid it out. And then last but not least, the 5th thing that I like in this car is the Mark Levinson sound system. It is absolutely awesome. These speakers are insane. I've had a few friends who specifically buy Lexuses for the Mark Levinson sound. They're that good. Now let's talk about what we don't like. Going back to the feeling of the soft touch, if you go up here, it's just kind of cheap plasticky. If you go down to your door cards, I mean, right above, like right where your hand is good, and then you get any lower and it gets kind of scratchy, plasticky, kind of cheap. Not the biggest deal. This car is a utility vehicle, so not many people would care, but you know, when you're spending $80,000 on a vehicle, I kind of would want everything to be soft touch. Another thing I dislike about it is this model doesn't have the air suspension, which I kind of like having in cars just because it makes the ride a lot smoother. If you watch our Toyota Land Cruiser video, that's a 2006, and it has air ride suspension in all 4 corners, and it's really awesome. It really absorbs all the bumps over the road. Another thing I dislike, I don't really like these switches. I kind of wish it was still manual, but there's not much that we can do about that coming on. And that's really it. Honestly, I don't have any more complaints about this car. It drives amazingly, so now let's talk about that. It's powered by a 4.6 liter V8, as I said earlier, and being over 6,000 pounds, you never would notice. It feels very solid, and it drives great. So really no complaints except for the scratchy plastic. Go ahead and give you some gas around this corner. You can kind of hear acceleration. Pretty quick for being so heavy. I would definitely not complain about the speed, especially when you can tow up to 6,500 pounds in this thing. And actually going back, another thing I don't like the front headlights. I think they look pretty bulbous and outdated. They fixed that on the newer models, but on this 2013, I think they're still too big. Yep, so that's really all. That's our 5 likes, 5 dislikes, and what we think about the driving of it. We're gonna move into the back of the GX460 now. Like you guys know, I'm 6 feet tall. Let's see how much space we got. Plenty of space back here. You still have all the luxury of the front with the wood trim. You have plenty of space, automatic windows again, and I stand corrected about what I said earlier. It's actually tri-zone climate control back here. You got your climate and you can adjust it for the back too. You got heated seats in the back as well. Just plenty of space. Another favorite thing is Lexus's stadium seating, so even though I'm sitting in the back, I can still see out the front window because I'm higher than the front seats up here. Moving further back into this GX460, you have automatic third row seats. So all you have to do is push a button, they start coming up. You push a button and they start going back down. Really handy feature. You can fit 7 people in this car with ease. Thanks again for watching this episode of Colorado Cars. We hope you enjoyed today's review on this 2013 Lexus GX460. I want to give another shout out to Arrowhead Autosport, located here in Parker, Colorado. Make sure you check out their website below in the description. Make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe for your chance to win a $100 gift card to a place of your choosing. We'll see you next time.